In this video, I'm going to show you how to do a chain, how to do a row of single crochet, a second row of single crochet, half double crochet stitch, and a double crochet stitch. So we're going to learn several stitches in this video, but I'm going to do it in a very easy way so you guys can see each and every step that I'm taking to make these stitches. So I'm going to use some yarn, and I'm going to go ahead and use that 4mm hook. So with my hook in hand, we are first going to learn to create the chain. So this right here, this little tail is known as the end tail, and this is the working end of the yarn. So the yarn has two ends. Again, this is the end tail and this is the working end. So I'm going to grab the end tail and form a bit of an X. So I just went around and kind of made an X. And on this side, this is what it looks like. So I'm holding the working end with these two fingers. And I have the X right here that we just made. So I'm gonna cross under, turn, and kind of just pull up. And this is what the base of the chain is gonna be. So from here, I'm gonna create those chains, just like that. So I'm going to show you again how to make that first little base of the chain. So I cross my yarn in an X, and on this side I go under, grab the yarn, kind of twist it, and now I let go and pull. So when I mean let go, I mean with these two fingers let go and kind of just pull up, and there you have the chain base. So that does take a little bit of practice, but it's going to get so much easier once you get the hang of it. You'll be able to do it super quick. In no time, it'll just be second nature, just like that. So we have our base of the chain. Now we're going to learn how to make a chain. Creating a chain is super easy. All you do is pull the yarn over the hook, and then you're going to go under into that little chain. So that's one. And you just continue that. So you just put the yarn over the hook and then you go under the chain that's on your hook. So again, you pull the yarn over the hook and go under the chain that's currently on your hook. So just by repeating that, there you have your chains. So right now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 chains. So I'm going to go ahead and do 10. And now what I'm going to do is show you how to do a single crochet stitch on this base. So I'm going to actually do an 11th, because what we do when we're working on a chain, and I'm going to go ahead and do a first row of single crochet. I'm going to skip the chain, the first chain right here, which is the last chain that we made. So I'm not talking about the loop that's on the hook. I'm talking about this last single crochet that we made. I'm going to skip that because right now we have 11 chains. If I single crochet across, skipping that first one, I'll single crochet 10 times. So just like that, I skipped the first chain. To do that single crochet, all I did was insert the hook, pull my yarn through. So now I have 2 loops on the hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull the yarn through both of those loops. So now I'm left with 1 loop again, and that was the second single crochet. So I'm going to do it again in this next chain. I'm going to insert the hook, pull yarn through. Now I'm going to yarn over the hook, and we're going to pull this yarn under these 2 loops. So it's super easy to create a single crochet. Again, it's the same as the idea of the chain, where once you do it a couple times, you'll get the hang of it and you'll be able to do it in no time. So I'm going to show you again. I'm going to go in here, pull the yarn through. I have 2 loops on my hook, so I'm going to yarn over and pull through both loops. So I'm going to do the next couple, and I'm going to show you what you do when you get to an end. So this is the very last single crochet. So I would single crochet as normal. But since we got to the end of the chain, and what I want to do now is work back so we can keep making this higher, what I'm going to do is chain 1. So remember that chain is really important. You're going to use it in a lot of projects. So I just chain 1 and I turn my work around. Because we were working this way, now we're going to be working on the back side, but you can still see all the stitches up here. So what I'm going to do is just start single crocheting like normal on the top. So again, we're skipping that chain that we just made, and we're going to go in the second chain from hook. So that's what that means, the second chain from hook, because we're skipping the first, we're working in the second. So I would just single crochet by pulling the yarn through, yarning over, and pulling through those first 2 loops. So insert the hook, pull the yarn through, just like that. So I'm going to do a second row of single crochets, and it'll be 10 single crochets on across. Okay, so I'm on the very last stitch. I just did the last single crochet. So what I'm going to do now is chain 1 and turn the work around. So we just did a row of chains, so the initial chain at the very bottom. We did 1 row of single crochet and then a second row of single crochet. So what we're going to do now is we're going to learn how to make a half double crochet. So I'm going to skip that chain 1 that I made for when we turned our work. And to make a half double crochet, I'm going to put the yarn around the hook, insert the hook into the second chain, skipping that first one. Remember, we're going into the second, pull the yarn through, and now I have 3 loops on my hook. Remember, with a single crochet, we only had 2 loops. But we kind of have the same ideas, because I'm going to yarn over and still pull through all of the loops. So the only difference is that we are yarning over before we're inserting the hook, and that makes us have 3. So that's the difference between the half double crochet and the single crochet. So I'm going to do a single crochet right here so you can see the difference. I'm inserting the hook, pulling the yarn through, yarning over and pulling through both loops, and then I'm going to do a half double crochet. So you can see the difference. So what I'm going to do is do a single crochet in this next stitch so you can see the difference. So I am inserting the hook through the stitch, pulling the yarn through, wrapping the yarn around and pulling it through both. And then a half double crochet, I wrap the yarn around the hook, insert the hook through the stitch, pull the yarn through, yarn over, and pulling through those 3 loops. So I'm going to continue doing half double crochets across. So I'm going to create the very last half double crochet. And now we're at the end of the row. So what we're going to do now is chain 2. So yarn over the hook and then through the loop. So I just chained 2. The reason I'm chaining 2 this time is because we're going to learn how to make a double crochet. And a double crochet is a taller stitch. So we're going to need 2 chains instead of with the single crochet and the half double crochet, you usually just chain 1. So I just chained 2. I'm turning the work around. So this is how we create a double crochet. What we're gonna do is yarn over, insert the hook, pull the yarn through, and you can see we have 3 loops on the hook. I'm gonna yarn over and only pull through the first 2 loops. So I still have 2, yarn over, pull through those 2. That's a double crochet. So we're going to do that one more time. Yarn over, insert the hook, pull the yarn through. So I have 3, but I'm going to yarn over, pull through the first 2, and I'm going to yarn over and pull through the last 2. So yarn over, insert the hook, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through the first 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Yarn over, insert the hook, pull the yarn through. Remember, you're only going through the first 2 loops, leaving that last one. Then you're going to yarn over and pull through the last. Okay, so what I want to do right now is I'm going to do a double crochet, a half double crochet, and a single crochet, so you can see the difference through all 3 stitches. So they're very similar, just slightly different. So again, that double crochet, you're yarning over, inserting the hook, pulling the yarn through, yarn over, you're going through the first 2 loops, yarn over, the last 2 loops. That's a double crochet. Now we're going to do a half double crochet by yarning over, insert the yarn, insert the hook, pull the yarn through, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Now we're going to do a single crochet where you just insert the hook, pull the yarn through, and then you just pull through. So you should be able to see on here, you can see that there is a size difference. The single crochet is the smallest, the half double crochet is kind of in the middle, and then the double crochet is the tallest stitch out of all 3. So that is it. You just learned how to make the foundation chain for a project, how to do a first row of single crochet and then a second row of single crochet. We learned how to create a double crochet stitch and a half double crochet stitch. You even learned that at the end of each row, when you're working in rows, you're going to create chains to make it easier to turn your work around each time. And that'll also make it so that you have straight lines at the end of each project. So I truly hope that you enjoyed this and that you were able to learn to make some new stitches, and you will use these for future projects, I'm sure.